Our monthly meetings are still the third Monday of every month. We rescheduled this one due to, last week us not having a quorum. So our meetings are still every third Monday of the month at 6 p.m.
Thank you.
Maybe, we should ask them if they can hear us, okay?
Can everybody hear us okay? Somebody, from virtually, if you can give me let me know or speak. And
Can you hear us over there?
can you hear us? Virtual? Great.
Okay,
He said
good.
yes?
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, the commissioner just announced that we have meetings still every third Monday of the month. However, there is no August meeting unless a special meeting is called, and we will notify everyone accordingly. Otherwise, we are off in the month of August for a board meetings. Thank you. First order of business, we will do a roll call. Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Cousins,
Here.
Commissioner Wolf,
Here.
Commissioner Zakos,
Here.
Commissioner Decker,
Here.
Commissioner McPherson.
Here.
We have a quorum. First order of business is accounts payable for June of 2024. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, we have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Smith makes the motion and was second. Commissioner second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carries. The second order of business is approved minutes for the June 2023.
I make a motion.
Commissioner Cousin makes a motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Wolf seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Second, the next order of business is a residence commissioner report. At this time, Commissioner McPherson or Commissioner Decker, do you have anything?
I actually got a couple of questions, not for me, for the residents themselves. One is, they want to know why the community room is not open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. That was the one question. Second question is, I understand why you did it on a Friday, that the office is closed. And I understand, like, when COVID hit, you guys went from 8 o'clock in the morning to opening the window at 9. But if you're closed on Fridays, why can't you go back to normal hours if you're in the office at 8 o'clock? I mean, you have that hour lunch break. So like it always used to be 8 to 4. So you now have Fridays off. You don't open the window until 9 and you close it at 3. I mean, granted that you can still call and make work orders out between after 3, but I don't know about 8 o'clock. Between 8 and 9. Mostly it was the community room. Why is it not open for us to come in if we live here? I mean, because there was issues why it was closed down for a while. But that was before you got here.
So as we discussed before, the community room hours were like that when I've gotten here, so I didn't, I haven't made any changes. You did bring it to my attention. I do understand why I understand it would be convenient, but as we discussed, I said, well, the time is not like we have any recreation here. There's no cable on the television. We don't have any computers. There's no pool table. I would open the room for cooling purposes. It's extremely hot outside, so that we can have residents, to, lounge, but it's something that I can take a look at, but there's no, adds an additional thing to it. I suspected, again, I didn't even ask anybody because it was before I got here. I suspected that it might be closed during that time because people come in and probably just, run them up, so to speak, and then that's another additional cleaning duty for the maintenance staff. But again, it's something that we can revisit.
I get,
I'm sorry, question, was it closed, was it shut down because of COVID, like because people were not supposed to congregate during COVID, so?
no, it was closed due to the fact that there was people coming in here right along with the lunchroom and trying to sleep. So, but this is where I'm gonna go with this. I get that we're not Providence Hall, I get that. Their community room is open every day of the week. All we're asking is Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. If that's not the case, turn everybody that lives here's fob on for them to get into that door deck.
I make a suggestion. As resident commissioners, I think maybe if you have capacity and time, if you organize with the tenants and came up with like a calendar of like game afternoon or like, let's have a
We've done
snack
that.
hour.
We've done that, and again, and I'm not trying to pair us to across the street. I get them people over there are a lot older than most of us. But this is where we live at. We shouldn't have to have our community room closed for us if we live here and we pay rent here. Across the street has a key to get into their building to come and go as they want. Their community room isn't even locked off to them. So all they have to do is press that button, the handicap button, and the door is open. And all we're asking for is Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. That's all we're asking. I don't think that's too bad of a thing for us to have.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you for that. Just one more.
So I'm just asking, I know it was before you, when it was closed. But it's always, we're getting the impression is every time we come to you or to the office about it, it's always, we'll get back to you.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Wait,
no.
no, I gotta clarify that. Because you and I had a conversation about. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Ma'am,
Go ahead.
you and I had a conversation. And we put down you put in a report, right? And a request, and we opened the door for you so you can have some activities.
I get that.
And I don't know if that was successful or not, I didn't
It was
check.
not.
So
I get that, Mr. Dawson.
I'm just saying, so it's not, but please don't say that you
No,
just
no.
talked to me and then I said.
No, not me. I'm just saying, that
Okay.
I want to make that clear. But at the same time, that was after hours. After the hour, 4 o'clock. It was 2 days a week. But again, it's Monday through Friday from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You can make it 3:55.
I understand you and I'll take it into consideration.
And we all here pay rent, and I'm gonna put it out there. If I'm paying almost $1,000 in rent, I should be able to come in here Monday through Friday to sit in here. If I wanna have 5 of us sitting here, just to have a conversation, bring some tea in here, some coffee, some donuts, whatever the case could be, we should be able to do that Monday through Friday. I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
I received your message, I'll take a look at it. The second thing is, the questions was the office quarters. So first of all, once again, the office hours were set before, I never knew of the office being open at 8 o'clock because I wasn't here at the time. But we take that time when we get there to do administrative work, because when the office is open, the phone rings a lot and the doors are answered. The doors are open and we are attending to residents. In order to assist my staff and address some staff concerns about being able to handle the workload, we close the office to the public for Fridays. The office is not closed, we answer the phones, as I've stated to you and everyone else. And if there's work orders, obviously we service folks with the for the work orders. And if there's an emergency, somebody can always knock on my door, and they always do. But in terms of the office being open at 8 o'clock, not many residents come at that time. I've been here and I watch and I see. We always I'm here after that time, after about 4 p.m. sometimes. So if there work issues or people need to get through to us, they can always reach us on the phone, and or they can come up on it. So that
And
is
that's-
only, it's only for an administrative purpose, just so that we can do administrative work, paperwork, filing, all of those things to make sure we can keep up and attend to the resident, requests as well as paperwork that needs to be done.
And I don't mean to interrupt, and I apologize, I get you, of that was the reason why you had Fridays off. So if that's the
Yeah.
case, and I understand, because it was during COVID time, that you did it before your time, at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So if your hours beforehand was 8 to 4, do 8 to 4 Monday through Thursday then, and take that Friday off.
I look at it, like I said, since I've been here, the office is open at 9.
I mean, and I get that,
We start at 8 with the office, as the window has been open at 9. That's how it's been since so I've only jumped into how the process was. And honestly, I sit in the office and watch, and there has not been a large demand for residents wanting to get in the office and talk to people at that time. It is, to be honest with you, typically when we do any activities, for example, extermination, inspections or anything of that nature, we typically don't even start doing those things till 9 to give residents the opportunity to get up and get themselves together. Because typically if we go earlier, they say that they're not available. Excuse me, I'm not available to speak. That's the issue.
but you shouldn't put all the residents in one category. I'm sorry, you shouldn't, because I'm an early bird. I wanna go shopping, I wanna pay, my first thing I wanna pay is my rent. I like to pay my rent at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry.
Not
I mean,
understood.
not like you shouldn't just put everybody in that one category. And then my third and final thing is, so when your maintenance staff goes and I get that you're down one man for the maintenance. But when they go to mop the floors on our floors, can you please ask them to ring out the mop? Because yes, some of the floors look gross. And then when they go to mop it, they're not wringing it out, they're just dunking it in the water, slapping it on the floor, and you're mopping it. Yes, there's wet floor signs. But if I fall, who am I calling?
You're saying the floors are too wet.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
understood.
Please, thank you.
Yep.
That's the only thing that I have.
Ms. McPherson, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. When you start taking the garbage out the building. When you start taking the garbage out the building, a big bag. And you put it downstairs in the dumpster downstairs,
Who are you referring to?
on the 6th floor, big bag in the garbage thing, can't put the garbage in there.
Other
At all,
So you're
yeah,
referring to
big
other-
bag, yeah,
I just want to be clear to understand, you're referring to other residents
yeah.
taking their.
You can take the garbage down to, I do mine like that,
Right, that's a legitimate concern.
yeah,
And one of the things that occurs is that, when my staff goes to clean that
yeah,
and they go identify those
Yeah.
things. They report those things to
Yeah.
us and we review them. And if we find out who it is,
yeah, piece of boxes,
we typically find those residents
it's nasty,
who are not,
you know, it's really nasty up there, nasty, the floor is disgusting,
I
it's
understand.
nasty.
So we
you know?
typically find those residents that are not in
Right.
compliance.
They need to keep it clean. You know, that's what you wanna do, help to make this guy's act. Keep the thing nice and clean. You know,
Understood.
you got big bags, take it out there like I used to do, take it out there and dumping this thing outside. We could do the same thing, get this place in order. Like if you wanna live here, live the right way, keep it clean. With your garbage.
Is there anything else?
Oh, there's more stuff, you know? There's a lot of stuff going on in this building. You know? Backstabbing looking help us, I don't like it. You know what I mean? You know, I'm a nice person. You know, the way I was raised, I tell people business. Worry about my own business, my own life. That's what I do, worry about my own life, my own business. You need any help from me, I will help you out. If I can't do it, I tell them come to you. That's the way I'm going to start doing it. Come to him if they need any help. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Is there anything
That's
else?
it. That's it.
Thank you for your comments. We'll revisit those, issues and Commissioner Decker, You know, we want them to meet, we're welcome to meet with you so that we can
No,
go over.
and on that note, I'm leaving.
Yeah. that's it. Right. So, next order of business is executive director's report. Ms. Iffy, I see you, but I have to address you during the public comment period, okay? Thank you so much. And excuse me, I hope you can hear me. As I said, I'm a little hoarse. I apologize. Just want to share with you, that the Tenant Appreciation Day was a success. It was a great participation. It was great weather. That happened on June 22nd of 2024. So it was very, very far off. But, you know, we didn't have a meeting so that I could say that at the time, but I do want to be certain to thank all of our sponsors at the time. Yonko Development and Construction, Birch's Towing, Stewart Shops, Martin Audio, Zion Food Pantry, Independent Living Center of Hudson Valley, ILCHB, Columbia County Department of Human Services, CCDHS. And I also want to thank the Police Department and Columbia Sheriff's Department for donating bikes to the kids. So we really appreciate that. I want to publicly thank you for that participation because it helps for a great event, in addition to the fact that it is important for us to get together as a community to service our residents and provide those services to our residents. So thank you very much. The next order of business was, I wanted to speak about the elevators. Resident spoke about the elevators, an issue with the elevators being off the weekend. And I've checked into that issue and it's since been resolved. The third thing is there was a resident meeting held on July 2nd. We have resident meetings every other month. Commissioner Cousins happened to be in attendance. And we did have decent attendance, but I really ask that we have, please, it's very important that all residents that possible come to these meetings. It's very important information. There's a different, opportunity to have a discussion with me one-on-one so that I can answer your questions about various things. I took the time to go over the lease violation section of the lease, every single one of them. And some people have questions. Unfortunately, sometimes when I go over those items and we have those tenant meetings, I'm typically preaching to the choir, so to speak, because those are the residents who are in support of the upholding the lease and we don't want those violations to occur. But nevertheless, we did go over them. Number 4, I wanted to make you aware that there is a RFQ on our website and on our Nice Fada website, our professional organization, New York State Public Housing Executive Directors Association, and that is for an affordable housing consultant. That consultant would advise the Hudson Housing Authority on managing and maximizing financial returns while pursuing new development. So just to clarify even more, while we have a development partner, they are a partner. However, an affordable housing consultant would be HHA sided if we were to make sure that we're getting the things we need out of the development and service. So far, honestly, I haven't had any respondents, but it is out there on our website. 5th, HHA and Monco update. I think Ms. Zambudo is on if you have any questions, but I just want to let you know that we received some initial feedback from the state. They have made us aware that they are concerned about the gap in funding and urging us to look for additional funding, which we are doing. And they recommend that we look for cost savings designs, including reconsideration of the underground parking. So we are taking that into account. Also for the public, we also have updated our Q&A on the website. We're asking everyone, and we've updated the Q&A on the website, so it has the latest questions that were asked and answered on the website. And as I stated before, we'll continue to update those documents. And the last thing is we want to ask everyone to please save the date, September 17th, from 4 PM to 7 PM. We plan on having an open house on redevelopment with the green space workshop. So we plan on having an open house for redevelopment with the green space workshop on September 17th. Want to do it 4 to 7, 4 PM to 7 PM, so that we can give those that are working opportunity to get there and come in and commune with us nonetheless about redevelopment and green space. And that is it for the executive director. The next, I saw you, Mr. Huber, I'll get to your public comment, okay? The next order of business is a resolution number 547 for uncollectible debt. It reads, where the executive director of the Hudson Housing Authority has presented to the Board of Commissioners collection losses for fiscal year ending July 1st. For fiscal year July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024, in the amount of $8,116 as uncollectible debt. And whereas collection losses are apart from residents who no longer live at Hudson Housing Authority and have either been evicted with outstanding rent balances or voluntarily terminated their lease without paying rent balances. And now therefore may it be resolved that the Board of Commissioners for the Hudson Housing Authority hereby approves the write-off in the amount of $8,117.16 for fiscal year end 6/30/2024's uncollectible debt. Are there any questions?
I just want to clarify, it's $8,107, not $8,117.
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to make sure, that, you know.
Yes,
on
ma'am.
the
Thank you
record.
for that. $8,107.16. Thank you for that correction. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Wolf makes the motion,
Second.
second by Commissioner Cousins, is that correct?
Yeah.
And I'll take the roll call vote. Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Cousins,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolf,
Aye.
Commissioner Zakos. Commissioner Zakos, Decker is absent. Commissioner McPherson.
Aye.
The motion carries. Next order of business is resolution number 548.
Before we get into this, feel like employment contracts and other employment questions are gonna relate to that. So I'm wondering if we can have executive session before we vote on that. Also wondering if we have public comment. We want to put that before executive session so that if people want to talk about whatever, then they don't have to wait for us to have a potentially long executive session.
We just still have motion.
I would like to make a motion to change the agenda for the meeting tonight to move public comment to the next order of business and push resolution 548, 549 till after the executive session.
Second.
It's been properly moved to second. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. At this point, we will go into public comment. I think the first person I had that had a comment was Ms. Collins.
One of our comments is, in fact, I never talking about the community, how it goes, and whatever, but also like the bathrooms down here. Like sometimes I can be outside, you know, and people can't always make it to the 70s, like, whatever where they live on.
Yes, ma'am.
To the restroom. And so why can't we use the restrooms down here?
To have access to.
Yeah, I have access to the restrooms, and mine, the security guard, not always in position, and he's always walking around trying to drive, but we need to go to the bathroom. A lot of times there's been accidents, and because they had to go to the bathroom, they couldn't get it downstairs. And I want to know why, I think that's very important also, I don't know why, like Mary said, you start to keep your coffee or whatever, and that,
I think that's an important part.
and I didn't understand, there's always this thing like if other people come in, I mean, I understand that's, but people are gonna do what they do, no matter what, you tell them not to. So, I mean, that shouldn't hinder, we shouldn't be penalized for others too. Understand what I'm saying? And also like the staircases. Like I know there's people up and down the staircases. None of my friends, I don't care what they're doing, whatever. But I mean, the doors should be open. Like when you come up the stairs, you can't get in, you can't open the doors. They're locked. So you got people banging to open up the doors, because sometimes the downstairs door is open, the downstairs emergency door is open, and you climb up the stairs like during the hours. During the hours that the office is open, but you can't get in the floor that you're trying to get in.
Access is restricted.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't make any sense, even when you don't have to go downstairs, like, say if I'm like on the second floor and I want to go up to the third floor. I can't open up that third floor door and, come and go visit whoever I'm gonna visit. And mind you, the elevators are down and there's only one elevator, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, those are legitimate, like, common sense things that people do and it's like mind you, I'm saying, y'all don't live here, so we, know like what the problems are and what is it. And then sometimes y'all give us feedback, but the feedback is not good. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Like it doesn't fit our criteria.
So that particular, item, the door, people going up the stairs, that access is restricted because if people go up that door, they come in the vestibule and go inside that door, they bypass the security system that has been created where they are supposed to either use their fob to get in or to dial into the person if they're going to visit. And so unfortunately, just one moment, unfortunately, we have a lot of trespassers that come into the building that should not be here. Unfortunately, they are, people that, I don't want to shame anybody, but they should not be here for various reasons. And so that's why those doors are.
Like, why there are the cameras, like, hold on, mind me with the, I know what the cameras are for. But certain things, like, we don't have, like, the free wash anymore, the free laundry that we used to have before, and, it was told to me by one administrative people, that, there are people watching other people's clothes. I'm like, how hard body are y'all looking at the freaking, video and knowing what people wear? I'm like, how nosy is that? I mean, there's only one person that has access to the security guard and the security office and the other office, we're all, you can see everything now. So why are they paying attention to what clothes you wear and who's watching what and what not? When they tell me that, that's why there's no free laundry anymore, because people are watching other people's clothes. Why are you paying attention to?
Actually, that's not the issue.
Huh?
Actually, that's not the issue.
But
The
that's
reason,
what was told to me.
let me further explain. The reason that the cameras are looked at is because our machines are getting broken. And when we looked and viewed the cameras at that time, we found that unauthorized people are coming in, using the machines during the free laundry period. And it's not fair to the residents. We can't charge the residents the $345 or whatever the cost may be for the, cost to repair the machines, in addition to the fact that, we were losing revenue. So that is the decision that was made, and I made that decision.
I don't think that. I'm just really saying that.
Thank you so much.
But can I just ask a question, just
Sure.
a process question, like, so your first complaint or a question about the bathroom, like, can the bathroom be, like, is the process that you will now respond to that?
Right, because, you know, I'm gonna take it in consideration, she's the second person that mentioned, I'm sorry, Miss Iffy is the second person that mentioned the bathroom access, and I mean, like I said, I was following the protocol, and that was here when I got here. We can look at moving forward and see how it goes, and if it doesn't work out properly, we'll take next steps, but we'll take a look at it. Yes, ma'am.
Could you also look into like the cost of adding fob access to the bathroom and maybe on the floors? So that the staircase is still restricted, but residents can get in on the floors possibly? Cause
Well,
I hear that every meeting that we leave, people are complaining about the
I'll look at
staircase
that,
access.
but the other problem is that there are residents who give their keys out to people that are not supposed to be using it. And people try to, quite frankly, there's people that know that they're trespassed, right? And what they do is they know we have to positively identify them in order to report to the police that they're trespassed. So they come in, they put on masks, they put on hoods, and they slide through that side door. Somebody goes up, is upstairs waiting for them and gives them access. And while I do really understand it may be easier for some people, for others that, again, are in compliance are very concerned and there are have particular grievances about those people who are coming in because they're typically not up to anything. So,
I
but the bathroom is different.
understand,
The
yeah,
bathroom is different because once the access is
Yeah.
there, we can do that. But
I understand. I just feel like we have to do something extra for folks like Iffy and other residents that are in compliance, that are continuously asking these questions and struggling because of the lack of access, even if it's just explaining to them what you just said
well,
on a broader level.
yeah, and I have no problem doing that, and I'll address it again at our next resident meeting. But this is, again, only one person came to me,
Yeah,
and I said that I would look at it. And so, I am in the process of it.
and I hope that the tenants take back that, like, this is not the only forum for you to air your grievances. Like, come to the tenant meetings for that reason, so that you can have longer discussions with Jeff about the things.
And that probably, I don't know, but that probably wouldn't be your policy in
Right.
regards to what, if he was talking about like,
Right,
staff watching video and saying that somebody is washing someone else's clothes
No, I'm
because.
elaborating on what that is. It's because the machines, so we have a process.
No, I
Oh, yeah.
understand, but are people actually watching video to the extent that they're saying you're watching somebody else's clothes? We just caught you doing that? Okay.
You can see people come in the building.
Yeah.
Right, and we know, it's a small place, we know
Right.
it belongs, we don't, not mine, but the bathroom that I use is back by that, small laundry room. So we can tell when people are, there's many ways we can tell, we can look at the key fob access and see who has access. We have people, unfortunately, who send people to do their laundry that don't live in the building. And they're not supposed to, be utilizing the key fob. They're boarders and lodgers, and they're just simply not supposed to be using. And we've had machines break down frequently, and had to repair. The repair costs were going up, and so we can't continue to do it this way.
I totally hear that. That's all reasonable. I just, this issues with the video surveillance keep coming up. So I just want to honor what he's saying. And I do think that since these keep coming up, I would just say that moving forward, and I think this falls on to the board, not on you, Jeffrey, we need to come up with a video policy on who's watching the videos, who's reviewing the videos, who has access, and how that's coming back to the tenants in different ways. I just think that's something that we need to work on. So,
And it's like really serious. I will say this post over and over again. Washington Post put out the best article ever saying how surveillance cameras hurt people, low income people better than help them. If your car is broken into, they don't know who did it. but if somebody's washing your clothes, they know exactly who did it. So we need to really get down to how the surveillances are being used and how they are helping and not hurting. It's very important.
Just wanna add, we do have a current process. Whenever the cameras are viewed, they have to fill out a form. A form has to come to me and I sign off on it before they're being viewed. And it typically goes to the security officer who gets that information, brings it back to me and we handle it. So,
I think that's a good start.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really,
Yeah.
that's really good. Mr. Hugo, I think you had a,
Just clarification question, the key that you referenced a few minutes ago, is that the redevelopment open house with work section on the green space for the date to be confirmed? Is that?
yeah, that's to be, the date is the 17th. That's the tentative date. If there's changes, we'll definitely let people know, but we're asking you to save that date. That's our projected date.
Okay, great. And then my question is that the charrette meeting with the architects or what?
The architects will be there.
Okay, so is that the charrette meeting that the architect took down that?
Yes, I was a part of the meeting where we decided to not use the term charrette because we had so many questions about what a charrette is, and that we decided to call it an open house.
You are a great American. Charrette is one of the most confusing French words that we should. Great. Okay, so that's the meeting. So I can bring my architect friends to that meeting.
Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you. And so what are we calling it in the contract? Redevelopment
Open house.
That's an open house.
design? Okay, great, thanks.
Yes.
I have a good question. What is the intended outcome of the, regardless of, what is the intended outcome of this meeting? Of this meeting,
The open house?
Yeah.
To get feedback from the community and the tenants on the design of that green space.
I have like a few questions, okay? The consultant, I came in late, so I apologize, the consultant supporting HHG. Can you say, what's the purpose of this consultant?
It's an affordable housing consent,
And they're gonna be supporting HHG.
basically protecting HFJ's interests in a nutshell.
Gotcha. And the name of the consultant?
It's a the request for qualifications that's on our website.
Oh, you haven't,
No, we have not, we have not procured anybody yet.
thank you, thank you, thank you. You may not know this in, the wait until the meeting on the 17th, but the closure, the potential closure of First Street in the design. Can you confirm if that becomes an issue, that will stop the building of the building? I was informed.
Just if I just wanna. Repeat to make sure I'm understanding. What you're saying, I think, is if there's objection or something to it, will it stop the building from being built? Is that what you're
Yeah, so
asking?
the design, so the design is such that it's included that First Street's being, the recommended right now, the recommendation right now in the design, this is design, and what it's included is that First Street is closing.
Yeah, I don't believe that's in the first phase of the design. That's part of the total collective project. It's not in the first phase.
Okay, so that won't prevent
The building from being built.
from the building from being built if it becomes an issue within the planning board and community and it's like, no, we don't. This is us.
And we should just also clarify that it's closing down a small section of state
State, I'm
and
so sorry.
reopening the extension of First. So First would actually be reopened, state would be closed for this portion right here. In that concept.
Right, so my apologies.
No, it's okay.
I was talking about state, not first. So the place versus state is my question. If that becomes an issue, does that prevent the execution of the construction of the building?
I would
You
say
have to
not,
go
because
back.
it's not in the first phase of that part of the project is not. in
On
the first-
State Street as well.
This is State Street.
Correct.
That's not,
I just want
that
to.
part of it is not in the first, and if I'll check to verify, but it is my belief, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct, that that is not in the. And just to further, to give you more explanation of why I would think that is because if we're building in the first phase, we wouldn't want to pedestrianize the street and then have to demolish the building, which could be damaging to the pedestrianization. So I would imagine that would be in phase 2 of the project. Does that make sense?
Like, where I'm coming from is, I think there's gonna be a lot of pushback about closing states, opening first, whatever it is. Give them a commitment to ensure that these buildings get built in the best way they possibly can, as fast as they can, as efficient as they can. If that becomes an issue, the closing, not closing a State Street, I can ensure that the building of the buildings don't get delayed. Does that make sense? And right now, the design is that you are gonna close, if the design gets approved or whatever, there is a design called closing of the State Street.
Which is in the second phase of the project.
Okay,
The project, if it gets, just to be more clear, the project gets approved, it will get approved in phases, like we'll get funding for the first phase, and then what we have to do in the first phase, build, and then we'll move on to the second phase. So the buildings are gonna get built, to answer your question.
so then the way you just answered it, sir, then brings me to concern I have, is the way I'm hearing you, not that you're saying this, the way I'm hearing you is that the architectural design is the one you're going to do.
No, I'm answering
We
your
don't get to
question.
decide, we don't get to decide that.
Yeah, I'm answering your question, I'm giving you an answer based on the question you asked me, the proposed design, which is what you're asking of me about. I'm explaining to you of how that works with what you've asked.
Okay, and the last one is on the Q and As.
Yes.
Last meeting before I was reading them. So is there a way on the Q and A when there's new information? I was reading on my phone. Then it could say, okay, this is the newest set of questions and answers, but do I have to?
The newest question, or because what we do is update and we're just adding to the list.
Right, I know, the last,
So the
but I'm
most
saying is that
recent,
I would have to, that have to be the whole thing again, to find the newest, information.
I see what you're saying.
Yep.
Answer that, yes, ma'am.
Sure. And Jeff, that's my understanding too, on how it's planned with the pedestrian of State Street being in the second phase. So I would agree with your response. On the Q&A, so this time it's actually very, very different from the last version in how it looks, because we got a request, which was actually a great request, to number the questions. So now they are actually numbered and in the like subcategory that they would belong to. So it's actually I think it's more like logically laid out in the way it is now. So all of the questions I believe are the same, besides the question on phasing. Sorry, I'm not going to remember that to a T, but this time it's worth a review from start to finish. Moving forward, what we can do is I've also been requested to post it on PDF, but moving forward, we're happy to send out the Word version, which will allow you to track changes between versions. And if you'd like us to track them for you, that's also fine. We do anticipate this to be a living document and to be updated every single time it comes out. So it just, it depends on what your preference is. Everyone's going to have a different preference, but we'll do our best to try to be responsive to that ask.
Is that the evidence? Thank you. Is there anyone online who has a question for public comment? Thank you for that, you. No questions,
Jeff,
no.
sorry, this is Margaret Morris. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have one question.
I didn't see your hand up, Ms. Morris, I'm sorry.
Sorry?
Said I didn't see your hand up, so that's why I didn't acknowledge you.
That's okay. That's fine. When you were going over briefly your discussions with the state, and the state had come back regarding financing and asking you to look at reduction in costs. Did I hear you correctly that you are looking at re-examining the plan for parking?
That's one of the things they asked us to reconsider, yes.
So the underground parking is one of the things that potentially is not going to happen.
No, that's, well, what they're pointing to the fact is that's something where we're a section where we can have some cost savings. So they'd like us to review that, and see, and look at the feasibility of it, whether it's feasible or not. So it's not, again, this is just some feedback that it was not a definitive, this is what you have to do to go forward.
Gotcha.
It was just some feedback, and they've asked us to consider a couple of things.
So in the event that your current plan is not feasible, have you thought through what your potential plan might be for parking?
I have personally have some ideas of what else we might be able to do. And I will share that information with the architects and see what they can come up with for us.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you, everybody. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
For, I'm sorry,
Nick,
Is there a mo-
I seconded
is there a motion to go into executive section to discuss personnel matters?
Motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters and budget matters.
That is very properly moved and seconded by,
I'll second that.
okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
All
you
those
for
in favor?
coming.
Thank you. Take care.